morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, folks. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Unscripted. Where everything is off the cuff. All the questions that I receive, I typically don't discuss them with the person. I just get the question and I just go straight into discussing it. What's going on, Robert? What's going on? See my man Jarvis. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Lady Michelle. Good morning, Dorothy. How's everybody doing this morning? Okay, all right, let me get into this. Again, welcome to Unscripted, where we just gonna free fall these questions. The questions just drop, and I just give my perspective right off the cuff without, I don't want to get too personal with the person and their question and answering and get into trying to understand their understanding. I just want to just give a fresh perspective. All right, so here's the question. I gave us some summarization on my page, but this is the breakdown of what she's pretty much the young lady saying. I keep running into dudes that act like they want my love and companionship, but they don't. They just want help babysitting their kids, help with their phone bills and car notes. How do I know if a guy is worth my all, or if he's just using me? I'm a lover, not a helper. Help a sister out. Real quick, I'll go through it again. I keep running into dudes that act like they want my love. I want the person to hear this too. And companionship, but they don't. They just want help babysitting their kids, help with their phone bills and car notes. How do I know if a guy is worth my all, or if he's just using me? I'm a lover, not a helper. Please help a sister out. All right. Number one, I feel like, and I'm going to be, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I think the question already lends to a somewhat of an understanding of what's going on already, which is thus why I believe she used the word, she feel like she's being used. And here, unfortunately, this is not a good thing to say, but unfortunately, things today have changed drastically in how relationships are ran. Heck, even some marriages. And I mean, women have soared to heights higher than heights and whatever. And unfortunately, instead of us men sometimes cheerleading them and singing their praises and encouraging them to do more, sometimes we say to ourselves, look, she got this, she got the good credit score, she got that, she got a good job, she driving her whip, blah blah, she living fat, so and so and so and so. And this, it may sound sad, but there are people who sit back and they pick up on a person that's carrying things like that. And when they do, they go into it for the kill, and people get played. That's just a reality. But here's, I can't just be hard on the men, because I'm gonna say this part of it. I have personally seen women who may have those things I just described, good credit, good job, all these things that are pretty much can maintain her own world. I've seen women dangle carrots, so to speak, a carrot in front of a man, kind of like letting him know what things are as a kind of an allure to bring you. Maybe they'll do a little gesture here, a gesture there, so and so, to kind of get you in. But then when the guy really takes and bites that bait, and then here comes more and more, I need more from you, I want more from you, now you feel used. But see, sometimes we play these games in order to try to catch the fish we want. You know, instead of just kind of being what attracts the fish when you step in the water, we like to go out and put all these fancy different baits on the ends of our hooks and thinks that because we toss it out there, we're going to get back exactly, you know, what we're looking for. And a lot of times, like I said, we already living in a time where you're going to find more women today, more self-sufficient than you will men. A lot of men today, I'm not saying there's not no good brothers or strong men doing their thing, but for the most part, you're going to see men who are living with the woman, driving her car, she paying his phone bill. Heck, in some cases, he on her credit card, getting good credit off of it. She got him on there as a user, and so on and so on and so on and so forth. The whole gambit goes. You know, and look, I'm certainly not going to always put myself on the chopping block. I'm not going to excuse myself, you know, from have I ever been in those scenarios where I made a soft situation, and I didn't necessarily take advantage? Probably, yes, I can say that, but I'm something I'm not proud of. But sometimes, like I said before, sometimes people dangle the carrot. But knowing me, I probably said, well, I'll take the carrot and the apple too. You got any grapes? But no, anyway, I saw all that and I was just like, you know, when people do those kind of things, I just feel like, listen, lead with who you are as a person. Lead with who you are, and if the person don't accept you for the person that you are leading with, your genuine self, don't come to the person with your Amex card here, black card here, all these shiny things in a man's face. Because guess what? If he's lacking something, he's going to cling on to it. I can tell you, if any woman got any shiny thing about her life, and if she's leading out with it, because I've heard women, I'm not saying making up stuff, I've heard women talk about their stats too much. Don't keep telling the guy all this stuff about where you work, how much you make, all this stuff, because again, in times past, I have my own decent job and living. I don't live with no woman, I live for myself. So I don't need to come move in with somebody. But the point is, I've heard them throw them lines at me in the past. They talk about this and I have this, and I said to myself, now if I did not have good intentions, this could go way left. But some people do it. Now here, I will say this. I find it in either two types of categories. Sometimes it's the woman that's really, really, really doing it, and she is having a hard time finding particular men in her category to kind of match her. So what she'll do is, and I'm not literally, but she'll go down to the playground and lure the men away from the court, so to speak, and all the other things with her things and her cars and all these things. And most of the time, you're going to find the guy over there that needs an extension of his mother. Because that's another part of it. A lot of these men are the way they are today because they're overly spoiled by their mothers, and they're not held accountable to really be men. They're baby. So these men go from mama, teenagers, young boys, young men, and then they end up right with a woman that treats them just like mom. And you don't give the man a chance to mature into being a man and kind of just doing for himself. You know, it's an unfortunate world, but this is an opportunistic world we live in, and people will use you. Even if they got it, even if they don't need your stuff, they still will use you, because guess what? It's not their money, it's not their means, it's not their things, and whatever you affording them, whatever, people will do it. This is people in general have just fallen off integrity-wise, in general, women and men. So you figure when it gets down to meeting people and trying to have something legitimate going on, and you trying to present yourself as a single woman, you need to present yourself single without all that other stuff. They don't need to know all your stats, all your business, and all those other things, and, I'm over here, I'm a gated community. All that sounds like, hey, this is somewhere I can lay my head. That's what this is. You tell a man, you show a man, because guess what? I'm going to give you a hint. This is how you know you want to say you think you're being used. You out somewhere. Even at these little meet and greets people do, they do mixers. Now they call them mixers. And nowadays, all these people on these dating sites and on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, people, if they're in a local city, they'll say, hey, you want to meet for drinks? If that's what you do, a drink or something, you want to meet for this, that, and the other. And most people, even if a guy is a manipulator, he got enough money to probably wing a drink himself, right? He got enough money to maybe wing a drink when he get in there. But when he gonna get in there, especially if he already looks the part of what you want him to look like physically, this is where the problem occurs. You get stuck on his looks, you get in there to the bar, and then when you get to talking, so you work for them. Oh, okay, cool. So how long you been with them? He's looking for stability now. Oh, okay. So where you? Oh, so you live out? Oh, that's some gated community. Oh, yeah, I got a gated community. And women always like to tell the men their stats and their accomplishments, so they can be like, "That's right. I don't need nothing. I'm independent." Great. Okay, but the things you are saying is going to make you soon a dependent. You are independent, but those things you're saying to him will soon make you dependent. If you get my drift, in time, any man. Hey, listen, Bruce. Tell him, Bruce. Any man who has been out there. You've been sowing your oats, you've been playing, you've been ripping and running, doing this and this with women. We know, we can see the stamp on you. We know victim when we see victim. That's just what it is. The stuff you say, how you act, how you present yourself, all those things. And then sometimes, look, here's another thing. I've seen women that maybe got a little more extra pounds, or maybe they don't necessarily feel as they're in the competitive vein of some of the, I guess what you call assembly line women today that look the same. They're not in that same vein. So sometimes they like to step out of that and say, I can do this to my guy. I want to do this to my guy. He didn't have to worry about this, that, and the other. I'll do this. And that's all well and good. If you are with somebody that you know it's been tried, trusted, true, you guys, it's a connection, it's straight, you trust them. No relationship is perfect, but you guys are at least feeling like this person is not trying to just blatantly use me. If that's not the case, then okay, fine, because this is certainly pleasantries and exchanges and gifts and favors certainly happen. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is, already, like the person who asked this question already knows, if you are offering a man, if you try, you know when you are starting to throw out your fishing hook, because you extending yourself. Anybody that extends themselves know you're doing it. You just don't like the reply. You don't like the response you're getting from them, because you're thinking, well, I just wanted to leave with the fish bait hook and just grab them. And yeah, you did grab them, but you grabbed someone that was in need. And unfortunately, we live amongst the world. And we live amongst the world of folks in need. Heck, even people doing good for themselves can need a little something. A lot of folks can need a little something. That's just what it is. And so, you gotta be more, like I said, you gotta be more shut mouth about your life, your business. And today we too free. We too free with people, with what we doing, what we have, and how we move it and how we live. And we put everything on Facebook. Oh, congratulations to me. Guess what? All those badges of honor means security and money to the guy on the side that's looking for somewhere to lay up. And here's another sad thing. In a world where there's more women thriving and they're all single and they're looking for this particular guy to kind of match their world, okay, fine. But in most cases, if we look around, unfortunately, a lot of this is being downgraded for he look nice, he got a nice body, and girl, he got good sex. Look nice, body, sex. It's the trade-off that has not changed since the beginning of time. And a lot of these guys, to be quite honest with you, a lot of people are good-looking bums. Good-looking bums, and yeah, they may can lay some plumbing, okay? Fine. Whatever. But guess what? Any smart plumber will perfect his craft if he's not getting paid wages. You hear what I'm saying with that? Any smart plumber will perfect his craft if he don't have no other work to do. If you don't got no other work to do, and if your work is manipulating, guess what? You better get to perfecting. If your line of work is manipulating the women and living with women and taking this, that, and other, you better perfect that other game, because that's what gets you there. Unfortunately, that's the black card to being taken care of. Look the par, speak like you got some sense. Don't embarrass me at my family house, my cousins, my friends' events, and all these things, and lay the plumbing. You lay the plumbing. You don't got, it's sad but true. You don't got to worry about nothing. You do those things. You get in the door. It's a lot of these nice homes that you see, and these a lot of these women that work at these places, they're single in status. They're not married, but they are not alone. They have the good-looking, nice body plumber at home, sitting on the couch while they at work. So, that's what it is. And so with old girl, yes, and of course, I know you said you a lover, and she says at the top of the hour, she says, I'm not a, like, she's not a provider, like she's not trying to take care of men. She's saying she don't want to be used, she's a lover. Well, guess what? If you want to be a lover, and if you want to be validated as that, you got to present with that. You feel like the first thing you said is user, because you are leaning with the using hand. You providing your stuff, you putting your stuff out there in front of the person, and guess what? He taking it, or they taking it. It's reoccurring because you have not changed up what you're doing. So you got to change how you leading. How are you leading? If you leading with this guy with trying to do all this and this for him up front. I heard of a situation really quick. I heard of a situation from a friend. This is what I mean when I say the perils of this time. I heard a situation where this guy started dating this female. She has a son. They started they were messing around. They started this. She has a son. I want to say maybe the son is 7, 8, 9, whatever. So the guy goes over there. He does his night calls. You get my drift, and out by the time the son wake up. So he goes over there. He does this kind of stuff. But he told the girl, this is how sometimes desperate we get. He told the women up front, I'm being straight with you. I might be having a baby on the way because this girl, this person I was dealing with, she tried to, he threw that card out there about her possibly triggering him about being on birth control or whatever the case she told him. And supposedly he let the girl know up front that he may have this child on the way. I'm going somewhere with this. Then they continue to deal. The ladies, thank you for being honest with me. Okay, so he's still having sex with the girl. Then, on the way to her house, this is all within a 2-month window. On the way to her house one night, he gets stopped by the cops. And when the cops stop him, guess what? He riding dirty, his license suspended, and all this kind of stuff. And, all this kind of stuff. So, making a long story short, he gets his car taken. He then Ubers to her house. And she's like, oh, well, what happened? Oh, the cops stopped me, blah, blah, blah. So this is what I'm asking the girl. So then, here's the next thing. And this is what I said. Anyway, she said the guy's license has been suspended. Now, this happened. This is 2019. This happened earlier this year. But the guy said his license has been suspended since, this is 2019, suspended since 2011. He's been riding suspended since 2011. And guess what? Guess how much it costs to get his license and all his stuff back cleaned up? And guess who paid for it? $3,500. $3,500. Now, if she don't know, if I don't know nothing else, I don't know what kind of gold he presenting under the covers. But after 2 months, she's dropping $3,500 to help him with his debt that he acquired with his car. That's not a good look at all. And I can assure you one thing, from here, it is all downhill. If a man that does not have good intentions know that you can pull out a card or get some money out the bank and you can drop $3,500 like that, and all he's doing is serving you at night while your son sleep, it gets worse from here, because now it's going to be, I'm trying to find me some way to live. I'm trying to do this, that, and other. And the money offerings are going to continue. You're going to think you at the church and the preacher saying, I need 100 people, 10 people with $100 stand over here. That's the equivalent of what it's going to feel like. You're going to feel like he is all in your pockets. Because now, guess what? You have not done anything to garner his respect. Any man knows that you tell... Bruce and my other man Robert, whoever else the guys that's on here, tell me if I'm lying if I say men look for you to draw that blueprint yourself in the way that you are handling yourself, so he doesn't have to look at you like we may be attracted to you, want to sleep with you, whatever, but we don't want to look at you sideways, because even though we got that $3,500 problem and we just met you, we know in our mind, this woman, I don't care if we engage or whatever, I have not done anything to earn this at all. In no way, shape, or form have I lived my life in a way, been with her, this, that, other, for her to be like, baby, listen, you've been there for me for the last two years. You've always held me down when I didn't have. You made sure me and mine were fed and taken care of. So guess what? I'm gonna reach in my account and I'll help you, and we can do this, and you pay me back X amount a day. But we're gonna do this legally. Let's get it. What do you call it when you get it? When you get notarized or whatever the kind of agreement, whatever you're trying to do. But to just meet a man and the only commonality you have is sex at night that you just like, but you want to make sure his car get fixed so he can keep on servicing you, and you give him $3,500. But then, and here's the other part. I asked her, is this a situationship, or do you like the guy? Oh, I really like him. Oh, you can forget it. The like part is out the window. Don't get you. I said to her, I said, you do what you will with what I'm gonna tell you, but if I were you, I would not. You might as well take this as an L. Now, if you just want to keep having sex and you know that you're having sex and that's what you subscribe to, then have at it. But the hopes of you thinking you're gonna get something substantial out of that in 2 months, you drop $3,500. It ain't no respect. I can tell you that. He don't have the respect. He probably. The sad thing about it, you just made him legitimate to go and be with the girl with the baby. Now he can ride around without riding dirty. Because just one thing, and for sure, we as men, yeah, we've been tricked in times in life and different things like that. But we know where we know where we disseminate. So there ain't no questions about somebody being pregnant, all this stuff. She might be, you know she is, so you telling the girl up front. You told her up front, so she know what it is when it's come down the pike, and you just kind of want to keep your bed laid the way it is. That's just true. So, again, I'm not getting drawn out with this. You don't want to get used. Stop presenting yourself as a UZ. You don't want to get used. Stop presenting yourself as a UZ, because if you don't, you're going to constantly get played each and every time. And the sad thing is, what I found, the thing about this question was so confirming, was that in most cases, this is a structure that some women live by. One guy just doesn't have that story of them taking care of them or using them. If you see all women, you all know a particular woman. You know a particular woman that your friends will tell you, oh, that's what Karen does. She always does that. It's a part of her structure. So your structure needs to change on how you entertain and date men. Just because you have it, you have it. It's your money. Put it away. I'm sure you got other things you can take care of and do for yourself. But don't get caught up into just kind of using your money as a stunt to impress and lure men. Because yeah, I mean, we want to know that you can handle your business and that you have it and that you can be sufficient. But if you come out the gate trying to take care of somebody, guess what? Like I talked about yesterday, you make him comfortable, he gonna fall asleep in your arms of feathers of money, and he gonna be taken care of. So that's just the truth. That's my take. Again, hope if she's watching, I'll just simply say, if you don't want to be used, stop presenting yourself as the UZ. And if you do that, you at least have a better chance at, look, if somebody's really out to pluck you, if they see you not giving, either they're going to be like, oh, she ain't doing it, and they're going to move on and deem you as not being the mark. Or if you're going to keep being the mark, you're going to find yourself constantly being approached by these people. And like I said, you got to take some ownership too, because you pulling out that card. Ain't nobody forcing it out your hand. You pulling it out. So you got to take some ownership on your part too, because it's like a trade-off. You trying to get something, and he's looking for something. You trying to get an exchange. You want his time and a man and all these things. So you feel like, let me do these things so there's no obstruction of him getting to me. But in the meantime, that you're pushing him further away. You might help him get to you, but you're going to help him get to you now and everybody else legitimately. Now you can take a road trip because he ain't dirty no more. So that's just the truth. Hope you guys enjoy your day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Real quick before I go, let me say a quick testimony to you guys. I want you all to know that I really do appreciate you guys supporting, you guys listening, taking the time to listen. And the reason why I say this is because whether you notice or not, I think anybody who's listened to me on any of these platforms, talk shows, whether it goes all the way back to the Man Cave with Dr. Cheryl, to me doing Unique Perspective, to when I was with Pete Coffee doing the Hot Seat, all those things, you hear me always talk about my own life and things I've done and my shortcomings and shortfalls. So I say all that to say, believe it or not, these questions and these things, even the things that I've come up on my show and different things like that, these things help me. Because trust me when I tell you, one thing I can say, I have been a participant in a lot of the things I talk about. A lot. I've done things I'm not proud of. Just as much as I can say, a lot of people out there can like me and say, oh, he's nice, he's cool. I can also tell you there's a long list of kittens that are no longer purring. They're just doing like this. But anyway, I've been there, I've done all these things, and I'm not proud of it. I try to, where I've grown to a place where I try to make amends where I can. If I talk to people, if I see somebody from the past, if I so-and-so, if I know I did something wrong, or I wasn't straight, I didn't shoot straight, I wasn't being 100, I tell them, I apologize. Because one of the hardest things I'm noticing today is people have a hard time trying to accept evolvement. Because people like to remember you the way they stamped you. They don't want to think about the fact that even though you're not perfect, I don't care if I screwed up something yesterday. Even if you're not perfect, as long as you are evolving in the direction of change, those old things are falling off as you move forward. But, sometimes people want to hold you to this, that, and the other. You ain't serious. No, you ain't. How you over there doing this, that, and the other? Guess what? This talk is healing to me. That's why I talk about it. And I feel like the reason I have you all see me post all these memes and I post all these, quotes and different things, because it's hopefully it's feeding y'all, but it's feeding me. Trust me when I tell you, it's feeding me. Like when I look at things and the lens I look through things, I just kind of be like saying to myself, look, this stuff, these things, like I said yesterday, I didn't realize some of the level of complexity of issues that I used to carry with me. And so until I saw them play out in the way I treated people, the way I acted, I'd be like, man, like, what's going on with you, man? Sit down somewhere and get yourself together. And sometimes you look behind the fence, it's a lot of selfishness, self-preservation. It's a lot of, sometimes, look, I ain't gonna lie, I've been scratched a time or two in the field of being hurt. So men will tell you, men sometimes, a bad thing to do is to allow yourself to grow a heavy callus over you that will prevent you from opening up and giving somebody else love that they deserve just from wanting to love you. And I know I've been guilty of blocking that. I've been guilty of being the blocker. The person could be a great person, but because of my own issues or my own fears about how far in should I take this, I don't know, I pull back, and then here comes that sabotage. That sabotage is always the dramatic thing that blows up in your face, and you did this, and oh, you did this, and I shouldn't have had to garner a lifestyle where I was sort of I don't know if you all remember. Some of y'all might be dating your age, but if y'all don't remember Evel Knievel. Evel Knievel was a stunt guy, stunt man. Evel Knievel, look it up. So I bring that up to say, me personally, it got to a point in my life that I became so elusive and wrong. I have perfected it, and it wasn't. In some things I found myself in, I was just sliding through, and you would have thought I jumped over 20 cars, because if you knew the feat that was in front of me, you'd be like, how'd you do that? Because I just became, that's why I always talk about we perfect, what we practice, we wish to perfect. And so at that time when I'm practicing that negative lifestyle, I was perfecting wrongdoing and by way of women. And so that's how, I talk about these stories, even though they may have bad beginnings, But I look at how God turned them all around to a position of me being able to help people. From me being, oh, this player this, and why you do this, you shouldn't do this, the women, all this. You're right. So, but it takes people in involvement and change and a self-realization that life it's not a life to make you happy. It's not a life to bring you blessings, because even I don't care how blessed I may feel I am, it's nothing compared to the blessings that come with a cleaner lifestyle. You can be blessed because God can just have favor and grace on your life, but you really are blessed when you got a clean lifestyle. So I just say that to say, y'all keep me going. And so when I be doing these things and posting this stuff, I'm doing it because it is a mandate I have to feel. And I'm urgent, and I try to be excellent about anything I do, is because if you represent God, you got to be and you got to move in excellence. So when I do stuff, I'm doing this stuff because I know I have a mandate to do it, and I have the drive. I do it, even it's risque. Look, in my relationship, it is risque, because doing this kind of stuff. Why this person said this to you? Hold on, who is that? Wait a minute, what? Oh, this, that. I mean, it's a hard world to try to help people, especially when you are human yourself and you got your own issues. And guess what? Your date, if you're dating somebody, your relationship, all these things can suffer. And then the person can see you helping everybody else. But then here's the part where they don't realize, yeah, I may have some answers, but those are answers that really God gives me. I can think of things and it comes, and I know it's not me. It's just things God give me. So I say them, but it doesn't neglect me from being a issue-ridden person myself. So just because I may say these things, just because you may see somebody say, oh, that was good, thank you for helping me, it does not mean I'm still not struggling with it myself. So that's why I say y'all pray for me and keep me going, because I enjoy this. Like, I love doing it. But yes, Charles Dixon got him some issues. But here's the thing. I'm on the right side of the tracks, because I know that God is directing me somewhere with all of this. And he's not going to have me doing this and representing him only to fail. So, I'm trying to do my part. I'm trying to overcome all the crazy stuff. And you guys, in case you haven't noticed, you probably said, aren't you late for work? I am going. I just have to make a stop first. But anyway, I got a little carried away with you all this morning. I just wanted to be a little more clear. I went to bed thinking about that last night, how I wanted to answer this question, but I also wanted to be clear about how thankful I am about how you guys support and all the stuff, the kind things you guys say and do, because this is something that, believe it or not, I sleep, eat, and drink this stuff all day. And I have to fight. I have to kind of fight to replace it with, and to kind of prioritize real life with it, because it's a struggle for me to do it and not sometimes prioritize my real life or my real whatever else I got going on. So I have to, sometimes you see me take these breaks and these resets. I'm doing it because I have to force myself to do it. Otherwise, I'll keep doing that. Shocking thing was, the last time something engulfed my world like this was when I was doing music. If any of my friends know, my guys from back east, Derek, Gerald, all those guys, Keith, Tom Slough, all them guys, Rustin Jackson, all them that we used to sing and do stuff together, I stayed in the studio. And that was my distraction back then. So my distraction today is this. And so all I'm trying to do, in short, is I'm just trying to give back to a world that I once set ablaze myself. And I asked myself, how I got on the road of this whole thing, period, was when I was considering love and looking out and wanting to be in a relationship and all these things, I did not like what I saw. What I saw out there and what I was hearing and all this, and I was like, this is really bad. But I said to myself, yeah, this is the world you help contribute to. All these situationships, all these quick fixes, all this manipulation, all these people don't want to trust, people just want to see what they can get and then turn away, all these different things. Nobody really wants to extend themselves, because people are scared of being taken advantage of. And so as a result of that, if I was a person out here playing that same game, then guess what? Then I was adding to the situation. So in my closing, I just continue to say, you guys continue to keep me in your prayers, because, like I said, I'm trying. I'm not a perfect guy. I certainly mess up quite a bit, but I am striving towards excellence. So y'all keep me going, keep me in prayer, and I will see you guys. Sorry I went a little long today. This is one of them days when I tell the preacher say he's ready to close, and he didn't close. But anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow, 8:15. I will be here, and we will take it from there. I love you all. Have a great day.